Roll call.
Commissioner Barton?
Present.
Commissioner Funes?
Present.
Commissioner Phelps?
Present.
Attorney Lamanna?
Present.
Lieutenant Habrick?
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum. Okay, we don't have any minutes at this time, so we'll move right along. We have a few one-day licenses. First for Raw Arts. They're looking for a one-day license for a arts program. Okay, the art auction fundraiser for May 11th from 6:30 to 11:30. And we have one from Ironbound Marketplace for an after party for Juneteenth Association. That's going to be on June 22nd from 6 to 9. And then we have Arts After Hours Theater for a number of productions. We have a series of performances in June and in October, and in November there will be 2. And those are non-profits. Then we have Bentwater Brewing. They're having a grand opening of their new brewery from 11 to midnight on May 18th. So, what is your pleasure for the one-day licenses?
The Lynn Community has June, August, and October.
Arts After Hours? Right, they're having a series of performances. The month of June, there will be performances on the 14th, 15th, and 16th, and then again on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And then again in October, they will have some other performances on the 18th, 19th, 20th, 24th, the 25th, 27th, and the 31st. And in November, there will be 2 performances, the 1st and 2nd of November.
Make a motion to approve all 4.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, and we'll waive the fees for the nonprofits. Okay. All right, then we have a change of manager for the Lynn Yacht Club.
Yes.
Hi. All right.
Good, how are you?
Good. Good. Paperwork looked in order to me. You are?
I'm Greg Dead.
Okay, so you are the new manager.
I am the new
All
manager.
right, very good. Any questions? Need motion.
Make a motion to review of
Yeah, I didn't see anything with the second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much.
You will.
Have a good day.
You as well. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, and we have a new liquor license, Brothers Deli. Hi.
Hi, Todd Siegel, representing Brothers Deli, George Marcos.
Okay. Your hours, are they going to remain the same?
Same,
Okay, and your tip certified?
not yet, but they're going to get a couple people tip certified.
Okay. Just a couple? Anyone who's serving alcohol?
Exactly,
Okay.
that's what I meant. With
Okay, all right.
It's not going to be, it's going to be to the table,
Okay.
to the person who buys it. It's not going to be given to them as they go along the line.
Okay, good. All right, perfect.
So is that your new business plan? So liquor will be served from 6 to closing, or
They can serve from 8 a.m.
Yeah.
they can serve it in the morning?
Yeah.
Are you planning on serving in the morning?
Not at this point.
Okay.
It's more of a dinner service that's going to be coming in, and during the lunchtime, afternoon, if somebody wants to have something with a meal. But at this point, there's no intentions of serving early morning,
Okay.
anything of that nature.
Any other questions? Everything?
Just
Yes.
a quick question. Does George or management intend on getting tip certified? I mean, he hasn't had alcohol in there before, just as part of just to just be able to supervise his people?
Oh, he's definitely going to give you that.
Right, so that,
Well,
that's
I've already
great.
signed up for it.
All right, thank you. I expected that. Perfect, thank you.
Have you checked with inspectional services whether you need a variance? Because there are locations that are close to a school that would require variance in addition to this permission.
We haven't yet, but we have a bar right next door, so as soon as
They would be grandfathered because this is a fairly new regulation, so you should check with Mike Tenement, but that's a separate approval from here.
okay.
So we're okay to approve?
This is, but they made the additional approval over and above this board.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Very good, so just need a motion to,
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Good luck.
Thank you. And you said speak to Mike Donovan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, then we have,
Good luck.
alterations to premises, extension of premises for Bonefish Harris. Louis.
I'm Attorney Vitale. This is the manager, Henry Carousel. You're familiar with the location that is at 45 Lewis Street. What this is a request in terms of what we need your approval of licensed premises for the interior of the building. What's being sought is to serve at the rear of the building in a seasonal time frame, essentially at the rear of the building. I know that Henry has met with the ward counselor, and I know he's familiar with the location in terms of what is done at that end of Lewis Street to afford people an opportunity for dining and entertainment. So we're hopeful that the local board would grant approval timely so we could then proceed to the ABCC and then open hopefully at Memorial Day to have outdoor seating. I think that there was some discussion to limiting the hours to the daylight times, which, you know, daylight savings and the waning hours will be as it comes into the end of the summer, but and to also limit any outdoor music.
Right.
I think that was what the council's concerned.
Exactly. Okay, so actually, I do have a letter here from the board council, and he is requesting that this is be issued on a trial basis from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and let's see how it works. And he's also requesting that that you won't use the area after 9 p.m. Okay, and there won't be any outside music.
Yeah.
You all right with this?
Yeah, we're looking for something.
That's good.
Place for outdoor dining. We're not looking for
Okay.
anything after that. We're looking to just try to extend try to compete with people from Swampscott a little bit. Just a little bit.
Anybody else have any questions?
Just the music, and we will hold.
Right, right.
Right, and you have approximately, what, 32 seats back there?
Yeah. It won't be a big space. It's going to be a small dining space, but give people an opportunity to get outside a little bit in the neighborhood. We're going to try to make it as nice as we can. It's a parking lot, but we're going to try to make it as nice of a parking lot as we can.
Make the motion that we approve the permit based on the trial basis for
To Labor Day. Second?
I didn't hear all that.
It's a trial basis, Memorial Day to Labor Day, and not to be allowed to be used after 9, and no music. And I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Okay, then we have a transfer license, LeBay Inc., doing business as Enjoy.
My name is Gregory DeMarcus. I'm an attorney in the offices of Lynn, and to my immediate right is Rosie Reynoso. She's going to be the manager, and to her right is her husband Herschel, who's the homeowner, 100% of the stock. They've entered into an agreement to purchase Enjoy Liquors and Food Mart 53 Union Street in Lynn. It's being financed by LeBay Inc. LeBay Inc. is giving a note for $100,000 plus a promissory note, so we're going to ask today also for a pledge of the liquor license to be approved as well. Ms. Reynoso is a very intelligent young lady. She was a nutrition assistant at Lawrence General Hospital from 2013 to 2016. Since then, she's been guest services at Doubletree a hotel in Danvers. She's going to Salem State full-time. She's going to receive her degree in May in political science, and she's going to work with her husband to run this place, come the approval from the ABCC. In your package, we have the purchase and sale agreement, the 2 notes, the pledge agreement, and the lease. So if you have any questions, but I think there'll be an absolute credit to them.
Anyone have any questions?
Oh, I might also say she's tip certified. She got tip certified.
That sounds great.
So this is the
Good.
license that we are approved, the license has to purchase and I did too, you asking for the liquor license as well.
I'm asking for the transfer of the liquor license to be approved, for Ms. Reynoso to be appointed as manager, and for the license to be pledged to LeBay Inc.
Now, you're purchasing the business, correct?
Right.
Not the property?
Not the property.
Okay.
And there's a lease.
And, yeah, I saw that. I just wanted to make sure. Do you have any previous experience?
Running a liquor store, no, but my husband does, along with his family, and they're going to be teaching me.
Yeah.
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 I'm still working at hotels right now.
Okay.
Which I am operations manager, so I handle banquets, front desk, all that good stuff. So I've been working with liquor, and I also worked at Mike's Liquors at the Redemption Center in the back. So I had experience a lot when it comes to liquor, vendors, and all that.
Okay. Good. As soon as I saw your name, I said, yeah, okay. All right. Okay, so will this be 2 separate motions, Debbie?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the transfer of license.
Motion to approve the transfer of license.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. And then the other motion is
To
to...
approve the pledge of the license to LeBay Inc.
I'll make that motion to approve the license to.
Okay. LeBay.
Yes.
All in
LeBay.
favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay. And then we have a conference with Pelican Cup.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Nice to see you again. I represent the Pelican Pub attorney David Lesperance from Newburyport. Miss Wilson just got this in the mail last week. She called me. I met her Saturday. It's school vacation week. She had previous plans. If we wanted, we could continue the conference to the next date. She'd like to be here.
Yes. Yes, most definitely.
Thank you.
And we had a problem with that?
No, not at all.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
make sure they're here the next day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, now we have a conference with Asian Guide. Okay, we'll get on hold to the end of the meeting. If they don't come, we'll be changing the conference to a hearing.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone here from Rancho Grande?
Good evening. I'm Willie Garcia, the owner.
Okay, we did this conference. No, here. Okay. Is there a reason why you didn't call the police? I mean, that's what this is all about.
Yeah,
That's just a big no. That's just a big no.
Yeah, the guy was doing drugs. He was escorted out. Then he was gone.
You still have to call the police.
as soon as they see that, they have to call it,
Yes, you have.
even though he just went away.
But apparently he didn't go away.
No, the next thing I know, he walked here to put a complaint.
Yeah.
First thing he was in the bathroom doing drugs, then he just walked to the police
You had a
station.
violation, a serious violation take place within your establishment. You know it's against the law to do drugs. It's against the law to sell drugs.
That's why he was kicked out.
An illegal activity was taking place in your establishment, and your responsibility was to call the police.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
but I know that you know you're supposed to call the police.
Yes, I give you that, but I mean, he was using drugs and he just went out. Then if I call the cops, who gonna, no, there was no one there.
You don't understand. You do not have a choice in the matter.
All right.
You have to call the police.
As soon as I see it, I will.
Exactly.
All right, I will.
Exactly. No, it's not a case of you will, it's a case of you didn't, and that is a violation, and it's a violation that we are not going to tolerate, because you've been before this board before, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not listening, and you're not following the rules, and there are consequences for not following the rules.
But that only happened once.
That's all it takes. One time. Lieutenant Hebert, do you have anything?
I just want to underline it. I think the chairperson's pointing out the fact it wasn't just somebody who started getting a little tipsy or whatever, your staff just did what you had to. This person was using drugs, you saw it, we don't want you to have a reputation of allowing.
Yeah.
So I think maybe a good idea would be to say, hey, we got this guy, we're going to ask him to leave, but he's using drugs, maybe the officers may discover something further on an investigation. And again, this is because you can't use too much. You have to have some discretion, but the rules and regs are clear. That's why I think they've taken that position. So in any doubt, call.
All right.
If the person's gone, the officers say, okay,
He's gone.
what up? Okay, sometimes that might happen.
Well, it's a clear violation of our rules. 7 to 10 days suspension, that seems to be allowed, but I don't know. And again, I just feel very strongly about this because you have been before us and we have tried to talk.
And the place was really bad when I got there. I'm doing my best to clean it up. You know, if you haven't heard any complaints from the neighbors, I'm doing everything that I can to keep it nice and clean so the customers enjoy a nice evening.
But that's why it would have behooved you to call the police and show your patronage that you're not going to tolerate this, you're going to call the police right away. So that's why it's important also to call, to set the tone, that we aren't going to tolerate that here, but our policy is different now.
Okay, I mean, that's why I got the security guys and they kick him out. Not kick him out like, but I mean, they escort him out. They say, hey, you cannot do this in here. You need to leave.
Yep, and you need to call the police.
Okay.
You need to call the police. Okay, 7 to 10 days. Yeah. 7 days? 7 days suspension, and want to serve all 7, or do we want to hold some in advance? How do you feel?
We can hold some, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Serve 3 and hold 4?
Yeah.
Right. All right, so it's going to be a 7-day suspension, but you're going to serve 3 of the days. We'll hold the other 4 in abeyance. No problems?
Come again?
You're getting a 7-day suspension. You will serve 3 days of the suspension.
Okay.
The other 4 we will hold in abeyance. If you have no further problems, they'll disappear.
Okay.
Okay? If you do have problems, you will serve the remaining 4 days plus any other discipline that's needed. Understood?
Yeah.
All right, so, 4 in abeyance. Serve 3.
What's the
Okay, let's see, Wednesday. You serve them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Put the dates.
You can start serving them tomorrow, 4/17, 4/18, 4/19. Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday through Friday. You can be open again on Saturday. You have to turn your license into
There,
tomorrow morning.
okay.
Okay?
Will the license be available for Saturday morning, will be at the police station?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you can pick your license back up at the police station Saturday morning. Understood?
Yeah, no food, no, just, we're gonna be closed.
You're gonna be closed. Exactly. Yep. Understood?
Also, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody in favor of that?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes,
Aye.
all in favor, yes. Who's the motion?
Yes, it
Miguel.
was.
Miguel?
Yeah.
You got a second by me? Okay.
He's gonna hold him in Bennett. We'll hold him still if he has any other problem. The days we hold in abeyance,
Time
6
frame?
months or a year?
Either one, it's up to you.
Okay.
It can be 6 months, it can be,
Okay.
you want 6 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
6 months, yeah. Thanks, sorry. All right, then we have hearing on Bruno's.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Coleman on behalf of Bruno's. Nice to see you again. Unfortunately, under these circumstances, but nonetheless a pleasure.
Okay, who was the bartender that night?
Gerard Schaff, yes.
Yeah, he's not here.
He's not here, no.
In the future, have your bartender come. I mean, that's the reason why we're here.
Okay.
He served a minor. That's...
Right, well, certainly that's what it's alleged, I understand. I'm sure the board's already aware that we did move forward on a transfer application last month. Attorney Vitale represents the buyers. This hopefully will be the last time I'm actually before the board in need of any other bartenders. With that being said, I would like to thank the entire board. I know I've been here before and addressed your concerns, and I was treated with mutual respect, and I want to thank everyone at the board. But the issue at hand, I did receive this obviously in the mail and read it, and do take these issues very, very seriously. Both someone being allegedly overserved and certainly an alleged minor. I did speak with the staff and the bartender who stated that he did present identification. As far as the overserving is concerned, I will state that my bartenders are tip certified. This person was clearly intoxicated. The reason why he became belligerent was because he was shut off and then was removed physically from the premises by Mr. Chaffee, who was big enough to, I suppose, remove. I don't know the size of the other individual, but did remove him outside, and it was the other bartender who called the police as well to get the police there. And reading through the report, clearly he was belligerent. Again, clearly intoxicated and overserved. At least to the point of being belligerent and disorderly. That being said, we try to ensure that we comply with all the laws and identify, and if someone is improperly or becomes intoxicated, to shut them off. I wasn't present, so I can't speak as if I witnessed the incident, that he was in fact identified or present identification, or if he was timely cut off. I can only represent that, I did speak with my staff, and that's what they represented to me.
Well, it's clear that he was overserved. That's a given. And it's also a given that he was a minor who was served in your establishment. That's a fact.
It is a fact, although we don't know, what identification he had on him, if he passed it along, or whatever the case may be. But certainly, whatever he did present had to be a false, whether it was a different name or fake identification, whatever the case may be. But I'm certainly not here to, to try to shy away from, this incident, for sure.
Very good. Anybody else have anything? You have anything?
I read the report. I know that you spoke to your staff. You said you spoke to the staff. I just wondered, did the staff say that he presented a mass license? I mean, if you stood here and said he presented what appeared to be a valid mass license, I mean, some people do present false identification. We want to make sure that, and I understand you're short here, you're short time, you're done, you're moving your business, so I understand that.
Right.
But I mean, if you had said, well, they took some other form of identification.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. No, and I read this FID card, and certainly.
That's got nothing to do with what he presented.
Agreed. That's what. It was represented to me that he did provide valid mass identification. I will say that, I would hope that they would be forthright with me. I can only represent what they tell me, but everyone wants to kind of, cover their own behind as well. And I did not witness it personally, but that was what was represented to me.
See, I think that's all the more reason why the bartender should have been here, but,
Understood.
Right. So, as far as I'm concerned, a minor was served in your establishment and clearly overserved, and that to me is a serious violation. And it's your first offense for serving a minor, right? Then the rules are clear. It's a 3 to 5 day suspension. Now you say you're selling the business?
We are. We're in the process of transaction, just waiting for final ABC approval. I've actually emailed Attorney Vitale a couple times this week. My apologies. No, you're a busy man. But we are looking to finalize it, and we have a nice relationship. I'm very proud of the people that we're passing it on to. I did take pride in, representing myself before Lynn, and certainly don't want to leave with any kind of bad mark. The board's been fantastic to me. So.
Okay. Well, 3 to 5 days. What's your pleasure?
Yeah, I make a motion that we suspend for 5 days.
All in favor? Aye. So it's going to be a 5 day suspension. For serving the minor. 5 day suspension. And really, speak to your bartenders, because I'm hearing out in the street that Bruno's is the place to go if you want to be served. They're not doing a good job checking IDs, and it's just a matter of time until.
Well, that's pretty disheartening. I've had a little bit of a difficulty with.
Yeah.
I lost a manager. I fired a manager because of some criminal activity and theft. So it's been a little topsy-turvy, which led me to decide to sort of move on from this line of business and perhaps focus on my law practice.
All right, so we're going to do a 5 day suspension, and you'll start serving the suspension tomorrow, Wednesday.
Do you agree to that? Because you do have an appellate right, just to let you know, that you're going to turn your license tomorrow?
Yeah, my only, and I guess it would be to confirm with Attorney Vitale, is I don't want to impact the transfer, and when that approval comes down, to actually have it be negative on his clients. I would request a deferment in this scenario, if it would be possible, so that I don't impact any potential with these gentlemen. I believe it's going to come down we thought it would come down by April 1st, but the ABCC, we had to provide one more document to the investigator, and his client did that, and we're just waiting for the final green light. So it's really about just avoiding any interruption that I have with his clients who are coming into this fresh, and I don't want to give them any baggage. So.
Well, you could voluntarily surrender your license for the 5 days.
Speaking with Ms. Ginnivan, this will not go to the ABCC, so it should not.
Yeah. I guess that's the same thing, surrendering it and being suspended. I'm not sure what the difference of that would be.
It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference either way?
No.
Right.
You turn it in, serve the 5 days, pick it up, you move on.
Okay.
And new people will get a whole new file.
Okay. There's no need for me to split here, so let's just take the 5 days, and, you know, I'll accept that, and thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, so
To the 21st.
to the 21st, Easter Sunday, so you can pick the license back up Monday at the clerk's office.
Fair enough.
So you bring the license to me tomorrow?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right.
Good luck.
Police station on Sunday.
Much appreciated. Yeah. Thank you, folks.
City Hall Monday.
Monday.
Oh, okay.
Monday, the city clerk.
It's Easter.
All right,
Nation Gardens, no show.
no show. Okay, we'll keep going, but we're gonna change this to a hearing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then we have communications. People get a chance to read the letters from Pie and Pint.
Yes.
And council order of the cannabis host agreement. Wow. Quite an agreement.
We can't have the Wild West out there when we show trucks down the way up. And this board was chosen by the powers that be, since this commission deals with very similar, as we saw tonight, sale of underage cannabis to underage individuals, and that this commission, under these proposed regulations, would determine whether suspension revocation is proper. I can see moving forward that the two largest areas, because security is going to be a lot tighter here than it is going to be at a typical bar. They will have on-site security. It will be the sales of minors, and it will be, right, as it's written, all sales have to stop at 8 o'clock. So long as the company does not sell the minors or does not stay open past the regular hours, I don't anticipate seeing them other than coming in for their one-time annual renewal. It does reference all of the state laws and rules and regulations promulgated by the Cannabis Control Commission. Any violation of any of those sections could warrant discipline here, but in actuality, I think you'll see the CCC will be tougher than the ABCC, that the license will probably be pulled from that state entity before it probably would ever get to us.
Good.
But this is the board that that seemed to fit best as far as issuing discipline for violations on the alcohol side. And rightly or wrongly, alcohol and now cannabis are lawful in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and there needs to be some type of framework to discipline and license. The license fee here was $5,000, which is twice as much as the ABCC, modeled after the city of Everett. So be some additional work for our secretary. But if there is good news, there's only 8 that are going to be open in the city of Lynn at a maximum, unlike the 40 liquor stores. I've been told that if run properly, they will generate between $5 and $10 million a year. So they have a lot of reasons why they will not want to sell to a minor or not want to stay and sell until 9:15 at night, unlike maybe a convenience store that's selling beer and wine. So.
Wow. My question for the $5,000, is that just for the initial license?
It'll be renewable on an annual basis.
And it will be $5,000 at renewal?
There's a line later in these, if you haven't been able to go through all of them, there is a line that you can add to it. I mean, review it on an annual basis, similar to what we did with the alcohol licenses. So if we see other cities and towns, and we see the workload that on this board and from Ms. Ginnivan and the police department, because the police department will probably be going to be your eyes and ears on the street. If that $5,000 doesn't turn out to be an accurate estimate of what the administrative cost to the city, then that certainly can be adjusted moving forward.
Okay. And who's going to be, is the city clerk's office designing the license with you? Or?
Yeah, I'd like to sit down with you. It'd probably be similar to what we have with the ABCC, local license applications anyway. So.
Okay. I think that was it for me. When do you foresee the, I mean, they're at the state level right now, right?
The Linway retail cannabis hopefully will be open by July 1st because the city needs the money desperately. I would say that the other locations that have improved right now are Mount Vernon Street, Oxford Street, Weston Ave, Tony the Florist, and the old Ryan's location. So we have another medical one farther down at Western Avenue, Cedric Upholstery. So 6 of the 8 are in the pipeline and are just getting to the state. That's probably at least a 6 months process. It's been very slow as they're taking the time to try to do this right at the state level. But because the Linway facility has already been approved by the medical, I would like to think that the state will have them up and running by July 1st at the latest.
When do you want to renew them?
I think it would be easy, and I defer to you, I think it may be easier to just end them on December 31st regardless, rather than trying to keep track of all 8. Did one open April 1st, did one, but I defer whatever's to the board and whatever's easiest. But as written, it all expires on December 31st.
Now, will you prorate the fee, Jim? We don't for the liquor
You don't, okay.
licenses.
Then,
I mean, if they don't get approved till September, they have to pay again in November for next year.
And if I'm right about the revenues they're going to make, this is the
that's gonna
$5,000.
be
They will not want to miss their Christmas tree. All the Christmas tree presents that are wrapped under the tree.
wow. All right.
Okay, so we have police reports.
Yes, we do.
We have quite a few police reports, and
Yes.
I've read through them to make sure that I'm familiar with it, so I can present them to you in a timely, accurate fashion. The first is La Parada, 22 Union Street. There was an incident where a woman went into the bathroom and somehow left some jewelry in there, and maybe a phone. Somebody else went in there and took it. It's denied taking it. There was no video. There was some information that maybe video that shows the persons that may have been involved. I was not able to identify those persons, and there was a little question of how exactly the whole thing happened. I did speak with the owner. He was cooperative, and Francisco. And for that, I don't see anything in there that the establishment was responsible for.
All right, so except for the first one.
There's several incidents at Tony's. They all, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3 of them are dated the same date at different times. I'll go through them really quickly. The first one was an incident where there was a bunch of people up front, and there was some type of an altercation. And ultimately, it appears that 2 people that were involved were ultimately arrested. And the officers note that they were both intoxicated. They certainly weren't compliant with the officers. They were belligerent and they were intoxicated. They ultimately had to be arrested and they were charged with disorderly conduct. That being said, they were in Tony's, and they made statements, or there were statements that they were in there drinking, and they were the problem. Okay? They were in there drinking. Now that's the first incident. A short time after, one of the persons, both those people were arrested. A short time after, the 2 persons that were arrested were subsequently bailed. One of them went back to Tony's, and he allegedly assaulted, did not commit assault and battery, but he had a knife and he was threatening people, and he went inside there. Okay, so that person that was arrested was a problem in the first place, identified as being intoxicated, he went back there and became a problem again. Certainly that person bears a lot of responsibility here. To what level was he intoxicated? I don't know, okay? But he was ultimately arrested again. I put these together because the timeline is kind of that, the way you can understand it. That would have been the third one. I think what happens here is there is a supplement on that second incident where the person went back. So the officer on 17905. There's a 17905 too, so that's another report. It's just another officer's perspective of different facts that were involved in the same thing.
Yeah.
So you can see kind of what happened there that night. Those are all together. Those are all around 22:50 in the evening. And so those are those incidents. And there is one more incident here for Tony's, and it is the 20th. Those were March 19th. This is March 20th at 9 o'clock at night. And basically, this is a PC. Tony's called. The bartender identified a female in there that was intoxicated. I know she ultimately had to be PC because she was intoxicated. It doesn't state in this report how much she was served, just that the bartender identified her as being intoxicated and told her she couldn't be served anymore. Refused to leave. One of those. Yeah, we don't see a lot of incidents right in a row with one establishment. They do tend to suggest lack of control and/or over-serving, but you'd have to look at each one of them on their own, and I do think that that person that was arrested twice for an incident holds a lot of responsibility in that. I mean, there is some, there isn't anything gross in this that identifies the establishment per se. And the biggest thing is them calling, them assisting the officers with information and all. So therefore they're to be taken as you perceive them.
But the first incident, the gentleman was overserved.
The question is he overserved?
Was he overserved?
Well, he's clearly intoxicated. Both of them, the persons mentioned there as defendants, were identified by the officers as being highly intoxicated and uncooperative and assaulted. Ultimately, they had to be arrested, not PC, but arrested in the street. I would suggest that he was overserved. This is not one of those reports that shows somebody identifying how many drinks he had or a statement or something. So that's what's implied when I see that coming out of the licensed establishment. It certainly may be appropriate to ask them to respond to some of this in a conference type setting, whatever you decide. There are 4 incidents, really only 3 reports, but one's a something.
They were already outside.
Yes.
Yeah, they had already left the establishment.
Yes.
Bring them in for a conference, talk to them about the possibility of over-serving.
Do you want me to request that the bartenders also be present?
That's really who should come.
Okay, can I have a motion for that? I will motion to set down for a conference.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you ready for trios? Trios is March 21st. This is a person that was inside the bar. The officers identify him, and he was assaulted. I actually got the video from the owner. I looked at it. I was not able to identify the persons that assaulted him. It appeared the officers did note that the victim, their named victim, he was apparently intoxicated. And I saw him on the video. He did appear to be intoxicated. And he was punched a few times, and all those people ran out there playing pool. I think he may have been shooting his mouth. I don't know. But it looked like something like that. Again, I spoke with the owner. She's been cooperative. I repeat that only because she what can she do that? I mean, she did provide me with the video. I looked at it. I couldn't further the investigation.
All right. So we'll just accept that for the files. That's
There
fine.
were an incident last night, the trios, the gentleman outside.
Well, if I may, with the Colburn Street, these are all kind of a couple different reports for generally the same evening on Brotherhood. They got a call, the officers got a call for a fight, maybe a firearm involved. That turned out not to be the case. When they got there, they got a description of the person that was making the trouble there. He had walked away. A police cruiser located him around the corner. He was belligerent, he was intoxicated. He ultimately had a warrant, so he was arrested as well. But he was charged with disorderly and the warrant. He appears to be the person involved in the disturbance at the Brotherhood. And then that becomes more apparent on the next report. It's not, I don't know if it's listed as the Brotherhood, but it is, yes, 8790, the last four. Officers are called to a different location in East Lynn for an intoxicated female trying to get in her car. Apparently this is a female that was at the Brotherhood with supposedly, there's 3 of them at that location. 2 of them are not intoxicated or kind of looking out for the person that was trying to get in the car and drive. Okay, when they put it together, they were all at the Brotherhood. The person trying to get into the car was ultimately the girlfriend of the person that was just arrested. So the 2 of them may have been more intoxicated. It may have been the reason, and may have been the disturbance, period. There was never any firearm found or anything. So those 2 identified persons were as a result of the establishment.
Correct.
She had to be PC'd.
Well, definitely sounds like over-serving to me. In full disclosure, my sister is president of the Brotherhood Club. So,
I mean, that's again up to you. If you think that that's, it certainly suggests that they were in
they were over-served. That's what it sounds like.
Right,
And
so
it'd be my recommendation to bring them in for a conference.
what they have to say?
Motion.
Yeah, motion, yeah. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Yeah, let's request that the bartender be brought in too. Thanks.
Okay, the next one is Rancho Grande, 408 Summer Street. We had them in just a little before for the hearing. Okay, the same location. I knew that was coming in. I read the report here.
Yes.
I actually don't think it's on the agenda, but it's on Pep's page.
Oh, I got it here, yeah. On this, yeah, okay.
I think the, all right, the officers were dispatched to that location, the location of 408 Summer Street, on a report of a male with no shirt walking in the middle of traffic. He was identified, and he was standing up in front of the restaurant with no shirt. He was unsteady on his feet. He was obviously intoxicated. He was basically, I'm trying to see what the...
Sounds like he tried to get into
He was trying to get in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's anything in here that says he was in. I know the 2 security members, they refused to leave, he said he refused to leave the premises. He couldn't answer basic questions. When the officers got there, he started to get a little agitated and became more aggressive and started becoming more disorderly. Ultimately had to be arrested for disorderly conduct. I don't see anything in that first page that says he was in there. And that's something that we see a lot. People that, and we'll see in a few more reports, that get to an establishment and they're not allowed in, which is appropriate.
Right. So let's accept it for the files.
Mr. Kevin, let's see there. Okay, the last one is the Hibernian. Basically, they had a road race, an event, and the person at the event became,
Excuse me.
okay, the person at the event consumed some alcohol, I think a couple beers was mentioned in here, and basically had experienced almost a medical type emergency where she had some hypertensive issues, she had fast blood pressure, she was, according to her parents, that's not the way she is, she only had a couple drinks, she was paranoid, she was taken to the hospital, she was treated, and part of that treatment, they were going to run some tests on her to see if somehow she may have unknowingly ingested something. I have spoken to her, and I have not heard back from her, but I asked her if she could share some information so that we could take appropriate action to whatever extent that, to whatever it is that, if that means, you know, I have not heard back from her. And
Now, she says she will report to some prescriptions rehabilitation.
Yeah, Ritalin, she was taking Ritalin, and then she had 2 Bloody Marys and 2 Coronas.
Right, okay.
So probably the mix of.
Yeah, it could be that.
And if she did the run,
Right.
it was probably a
So it could be
combination
anything,
of.
could you just be a medical response to that?
Yeah,
So, I mean, it was kind of concerning when you read the report.
Yeah.
They suggest something that's not normal or not just a medical situation. So we would look into it a little bit further, but I haven't heard anything else regarding that. And certainly nothing else to follow.
You see, okay, the same one. I don't see where the Hibernian is.
no, I think it was probably a combination of,
Go to find it.
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Congo line.
This first report from the Conga is a firearms. The person was shot, possibly shot down there. When they did locate, the officers responded to the area. They did locate a party that had been shot. They'd been shot, I believe, in the abdomen. But I'm not sure. Yes, in the abdomen. In his statements, he says that the person stated he was in the club, Conga, when he was shot, period. That's the connection to the club. And there's no evidence necessarily other than that, but that's sufficient. And then a short time later, within the same report, the officers were told there was a second person that had been shot that came to the police station. And that person was, I don't think that person was real cooperative, but it was definitely at the same incident. That person says they were out back in the car, and then they were going to smoke some marijuana or something, and all of a sudden somebody shot up at him, and he was shot. So it puts it right there. It doesn't say in the club. The first victim says, I was at the club. What does it say exactly? Because that's how I wanted you to see it.
So that's 2 more Conga later.
Yeah, we can talk about that real quick. I just want to make sure you see this. This one incident, 2 people were shot, and one person said he was in the club when he was shot. Right? That's clear. He was in the club. Now the other people were ultimately with this person, and they were up in the parking lot, and that was another person was shot. Okay. I don't believe any other investigations involving this incident have anything else with the club.
Are the 2 victims related?
Yeah.
They're related in their association. They're together. The group of all of them were together.
And they're all underage.
Yes. Again, from what I know, and I'm not investigating the actual shooting per se, but I don't think it had I don't know what the club's involvement was. They're there. Whether he was in or not, that's what he said.
Let's bring them in.
Certainly if
Do
somebody was shot in the
they
club.
they should have video.
There's an ongoing investigation, and there's other evidence.
Should we wait until the investigation?
I think I will make sure, you can do whatever you want to do now, and if I decide that the investigation needs it not to come up right now, then I can let you know. I mean, if you want to bring them in, I will let you, I will make sure I get back to you and say, maybe we can wait until the following month or to whatever. You understand what I mean?
I do. We can wait. You'll know more next month, right?
Right. Well, I can know more tomorrow. It's just that I'm not involved in that part of the investigation.
Well, I know a lot of the neighbors have been calling our office.
Okay. Well, I'm bring them just because of that. Let's bring them.
Okay, let's read the other two from the same location then.
Okay.
These are from just this month. This is April 7th. Two reports for the Conga. 2289.
Yeah, but you're saying you're getting calls from the neighbors again?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, this is another firearms incident. That was, officers were dispatched to the area of the Conga for apparently gunshots. The officers did discover some ballistic evidence there to suggest there were shots fired there. The manager, security person there, did tell the officers that he heard the gunshots that were coming from, he was out front and they were coming from the back. This is right at closing time. And he said he saw the flashes. He was forthcoming with the officers and gave them information. That is way too much coming from one location. Two people shot and then another shooting down there with no victim necessarily. That's certainly a problem.
He heard the shots fired too. He's security.
So we're hearing,
Was there another one? Trip tour?
Bruno's in Las Vegas.
Bruno's was the last week.
96. I just want to make sure we don't have another one for the Congo. So you know.
I have three.
Let's see that. So I'm out of order now. I know I saw that. At least it's in there too. All right, let's do Bruno's real quick. If I see the other one. Bruno's is somebody just said that they had their purse, something stolen at Bruno's. Period. That's I was not able to go find video for somebody who left the purse, whatever, and maybe somebody took it. I don't know what you can say the business could do differently for that. But if you accept that to file, I'll go to Las Vegas because it's not real lengthy, but it's very clear. There were two people outside that were causing a disturbance. And in fact, an altercation where the owner actually was, got himself in the middle of it, maybe be careful. But they did the right thing, they called the officers. The officers ultimately arrested the people. They weren't very nice.
So we accept that for the file. Okay. And then you said there was one more on Congo or no?
Let me just look through this really quickly. This is 89.
What was the 591 Boston Street?
That was under the influence, driving under the influence.
Okay, let's do that one too. That's what it was. That's what it was.
He came from
the 591 is also, it turns out to be an OUI. And the person at booking mentions that they were drinking alcohol. That's why it wasn't written. readily visible to me.
Yeah.
Yes, he makes a statement. I was at the nightclub,
Yeah.
and I admittedly messed up.
Mhm.
Do I open them now? Is that it, Jim? That's it. Yeah. So there's 4 major incidents for them. Certainly, I think you'd want to hear from them.
Absolutely. The neighbors call, yep. So let's bring them in. For sure. Just in case.
Do we have the?
Or, yeah, fingerprints are
This
on.
one? This one? That's the last one? Oh, they didn't show. Oh, that's this one?
Yeah.
Is that the office? That's all right. The good ones in there?
Zoning.
She wasn't home.
I'll be back.
So we're almost done. So we're gonna bring them in for conference or here? Conference for right now till we get more?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that, and if there's anything in the investigation that's sensitive, I'll let you know. We can adjust our time.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. And then, everybody have time to, under new business, a special additional rules for the cannabis establishments. We can just perhaps talk about it more at next meeting.
Next week if you'd like, absolutely.
Next meeting? All right, and speaking of next meeting, oh, I'm sorry. Let me just backtrack. No one's here from Aging Garden, so can we change the conference to 8 a.m. for our next meeting?
I already got that.
Thank you. And our next meeting. May meeting, yes.
Pat's away and Peggy's away. So,
Can we change the date?
Would you want us to
Like
come
the
with you?
4th?
yeah,
You want to come?
well, let's see. You're going to where, Myrtle Beach?
Myrtle Beach.
And where are you going?
Fort Lauderdale and
You
Cancun.
get your choice then. All right, the penthouse overlooking the beach. Doesn't get better than that.
Right?
Well, me and Canada, will be on the 11th.
Oh, really? May? So you'll be back? All right.
No, leave.
Can we do it the 4th week? Does it have to be on a Tuesday then?
Has to really be when City Hall's open, so if,
Yeah.
you know, you want to, otherwise we have to do
It's
it.
a little bad, he can't stretch himself this.
How about the first week in May? Too early? Seventh?
You have a lot of notices to get out there.
Huh?
You have a lot of notices to get out.
Let's go make a motion to suspend the meeting.
Yeah, so the 7th, yeah, I would have 3 weeks to.
Of what?
notices out
7th of what?
Of May, but
I
I will.
won't be here.
Oh, you won't be, okay.
No, but it's all right.
So why don't we just
Concord
skip?
boards don't have residency requirements, so those that look you up.
So let's do June, just do June.
Can we? First week of June? Oh, we can't do the first week.
No, it'd be the 18th of June.
And not have a May meeting?
Yeah, we've done that before.
Is that gonna mess you up?
Me? Not me.
And it-
No, I mean,
I'm looking at Jim.
Why not the May 28th? It's
Yeah.
a council night, but works out well.
It's better.
I'll see if I can get a room. It's tough on a council night to get a room.
We may have to go back to the dungeon downstairs.
That's all right.
All right, let me check.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be better.
I just hesitate to deal with the cannabis in June because we might have something over.
Okay.
Right at the edge of opening.
May 28th.
Okay.
Already open.
May 28th?
I need a room.
May 28th, yeah.
Okay. Check the time in the room. I will email you all. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody have anything else?